What is up, duelists? It's Chaotic Neutral, and since we're snowed in out here, what better way to pass the time than to bring you some content? So today things are going to get a little heavy, super heavy that is, because we're going to be talking Superheavy Samurai. We'll be showing you a deck profile, and in our next video, a combo tutorial that will show you two different lock combos that you can execute with this build. I've got the T and the T right here, so let's go ahead and get into it. And before we start, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and help us keep going with this. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so for our 3 ofs in the deck, in the engine, we'll be doing 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Motorbike, 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Prodigy Wakashi, 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Wagon, and 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Stealthy. So as far as functions here, Motorbike, you can discard them from your hand in order to get a search for Superheavy Samurai. And then also too, to help with your synchro plays, you can use its effect to target 1 monster on the field, usually going to be itself, and increase its level by 2. For Wakashi here, you'll use it in your pendulum zone, and then use its pendulum effect to scale your Superheavy Samurai Monk Big Binky directly from your deck, and then special summon it. It's a way of helping you go and do your synchro plays. For Superheavy Samurai Wagon, when it's normal or special summoned, you can change its battle position, and then when you can also change its battle position from defense to attack with a different effect, and use that to be able to search for a Superheavy Samurai Soul card. And then with your Superheavy Samurai Stealthy, it's not really a starter, but it's a free body to help you with some of your plays, like with use of the body for a link play, or to use the body with your Soul Peacemaker, things like that. But it can really help get the ball rolling. So those are the 3 ofs, and of course we have a few more things in the engine here. For some of the Superheavy Samurai Soul cards, and also a few other little engine bits. We've got 2 copies of Superheavy Samurai Soul Peacemaker, 2 copies of Superheavy Samurai Soul Piercer, 2 copies of Superheavy Samurai Soul Guy Booster, 2 copies of Superheavy Samurai Monk Big Binky, 2 copies of Superheavy Samurai Scales, and 1 copy of Superheavy Samurai General Coral. So, Soul Peacemaker, its effect is that you can equip it to, you can use its effect from hand to equip it to a Superheavy Samurai, and then use its other effect to tribute what it's equipped to in order to special summon a Superheavy Samurai from your deck. Soul Piercer right here, you can equip it from the hand, but your main effect you're going to use with it is that when it's sent to the graveyard, that you can search for a Superheavy, you can search your deck for a Superheavy Samurai and bring it to hand. And it is not once per turn, so this can definitely get abused when you have it. Superheavy Samurai Soul Guy Booster, of course, equip it to hand, but whatever it's equipped to also becomes a tuner. But you can also use this other effect to special summon, when it's equipped to something, to special summon itself to the field. So for Monk Big Binky right here, of course, that's usually going to get put in the other scale by Prodigy Wakashi's effect, but it has a nice little pendulum effect too, where you can search, if you control a Superheavy Samurai, you can search for a Superheavy Samurai Soul card and bring it to your hand. Superheavy Samurai Scales here helps as part of the combo, where when it's normal or special summoned, that you can search for you can special summon a Superheavy Samurai monster from your deck. And then with General Coral, you're going to usually search that off of the effect of your Ancient Gearbox. And it's another scale piece to have in the deck that's really helpful. And also a nice little effect too that can be used with it in battle. If you have something big like your Superheavy Samurai Brave Masahiro, that when a Superheavy Samurai does battle, that if it destroys a monster and you have this in your pendulum zone, it can attack again. So that can definitely be a game ender when you have like something big like Masawura on the field. So that is it for the engine cards. And with that, let's get into some non-engine things. So first thing first, we have 3 copies of Kashira Fenrir. No explanation needed. Then we've also got 1 copy of Ancient Gearbox, 1 copy of Therion King Regulus, 1 copy of Barrier Statue of the Drought. So for the Ancient Gearbox, of course, you're going to search that off of your Ancient Gear Ballista, and that's going to help you get into your search for your General Coral. And then, of course, that'll factor into going into some of the like Link and Synchro plays later. Therion King Regulus, we can get that either off of the effect of our Cleaver Genius or of our Sargus. And its main effect is that you can special summon it from your hand by targeting a machine monster in the graveyard, and then that targeted monster becomes equipped to it. And then when your opponent activates an effect, you can send 1 Therion card from your that you control to your graveyard, which of course is going to be it, and negate that effect. So nice little on the negate there. And then Barrier Statue of the Drought. So of course that is going to feature into one of the lock combos that we're talking about. But you can search that off of your Gallant Granite and then special summon it on your opponent's standby phase off of the effect of Ra-Ten the Heavenly General, which we'll get to later, and be able to just place a lock where the only things that can be special summoned are Earth monsters. Now, of course, because we're playing Superheavy Samurai, that means we can't play Speller Track cards. But we can compensate for that by playing lots of hand traps. So 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Droll, 3 Mourner, and 3 Veiler. And again, all pretty self-explanatory, and all of these definitely help out quite a bit. But that is the main deck. And from there, we will go into our extra. So, starting with Link monsters, we have 1 copy of Ancient Gear Ballista, 1 copy of Cleaver Genius, 1 copy of Ra-Ten the Heavenly General, and 1 copy of Access Code Talker. So, with our Ancient Gear Ballista, of course, when it's special summoned, we get to, or when it's Link summoned, then we get to search our Ancient Gear box to help us go a bit further into our play. And then, of course, usually we'll use that to try and go into something like our Cleaver Genius right here. Cleaver Genius is a nice little effect where you'll ideally want to Pendulum summon after you have that, and when monsters are special summoned to its 2 Link Arrow zones at the same time, you get to search for a level 5 or higher machine monster, and that's of course going to get us into our Regulus. Next we have Ra-Ten the Heavenly General. So to get this guy, you need 2+ monsters of the same type, which of course you're mostly dealing with machines, so easy to get into that. And its effect is you want to make sure you have one of the Xyz monsters we'll get into later, Gallant Granite, in one of its zones. And then in the other zone, during the standby phase, whatever type of monster is in one of its zones, if you have that same type of monster that's level 4 or lower in your hand, you can special summon it to the other zone. So again, you'll want Gallant Granite, which is a rock in this zone, which allows you to special summon the Barrier Statue on the standby phase in this one, which of course is going to help lock out your opponent. Then Access Code Talker, mainly in here for giant beat stick, removal of certain things, and helps out with going second. So that is the links. And next, we'll talk synchros. So for synchros, we've got 1 copy Tilting Entrainment, 1 copy of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Superheavy Samurai Brave Masawura, 1 Crimson Dragon, and 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. Yes, I know I'm pretty much evil for playing that card. But anyway, so Tilting Entrainment. That's going to be one of the earlier pieces of your combo. So you'll usually go into that with something like your Wakashi and Soul Piercer, and you get that out, and you can use its effect to special summon a pendulum monster from either the top of your extra deck or your hand. So it's going to help you get your Wakashi back, and then you can use that to go a little farther into our plays. Next, our Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. Of course, when this guy is synchro summoned out, you can target a level 2 tuner, which of course is going to be our motorbike. Bring that out, and then we can either use that to go to level 10 with Baron. Again, no explanation needed on this one. Or you can use that to go, or you can have it increase its level and go into your level 12s. So, of course, Brave Monster Royal right here. Of course, like many Super Heavy Samurais, it can attack in defense position. And when it attacks in defense position, its defense counts for its attack points. And there's 4,000 of them, so holy crap. And then also, when it has a nice little effect where when a spell card is played, you get to draw up until you have 3 cards. So nice little effect there. Then, of course, we've got these two working in tandem, Crimson Dragon and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. So, of course, these two are going to be on the field together when you end your play. And then Crimson Dragon has an effect where you can use a quick effect. It goes back to the extra deck, and you target a synchro monster from your that you control, and then you can special summon a dragon type synchro monster of that same level from your extra deck. So of course you're going to use this, targeting this, in order to get out this, your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. And basically its whole thing is that when it's synchro summoned, you can activate its effect that prevents your opponent from activating any effects. It's basically the you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh card. So, I mean, is it horrible? Yes. Is it evil? Yes. But it's effective. So, that's why we're playing it. And then we'll go ahead and round out by also talking about some Xyz monsters. So, for Xyz monsters, we've got 1 copy of Gallant Granite, 1 copy of Gear Gigant X, 1 copy of Spring of Merrymaker, 1 copy of Gigantic Champion Sargus, and 1 copy of Typhon. So with the Gallant Granite, of course, that's going to allow us to search for to attach material, search for a rock monster. So it's going to help us get to our barrier statue. Gear Gigant X. So if you have to start with Wagon, you can use Wagon. Then get to your Soul Gaia booster, equip the Soul Gaia booster, special Soul Gaia booster, go into that. You can use its effect to detach and then search for a machine monster level 4 below and bring it to your hand. So of course go for something like your motorbike or your Kashi to help go further into your play. Merrymaker. So of course you'll overlay to make Merrymaker, and then you can use that as material to go into Sargus. And that's going to help you. You can use Sargus' effect to help you get to your Regulus. And then Typhon, of course, like helps get rid of some problem cards and helps to just be a nice little roadblock by preventing your opponent's monsters with 3,000 or more attack from activating their effects, and also monster removal. But that is the deck, and in our next video we will go into some combo tutorials about the 2 lock combos this deck has. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay warm. For those of you dealing with snow, stay safe, stay warm, and happy dueling.